Welcome to a story where speed is not just measured in seconds, but in emotions. A story where metal, fire, and passion come together to create something eternal. Welcome to the world of Ferrari. This is not just a car company. This is a philosophy. This is a legacy born from obsession, discipline, and an unbreakable desire to win. Ferrari is the sound of an engine echoing through history, a sound that began in Italy and conquered the world. Ferrari is not simply a company that builds cars. It is an idea shaped by obsession, sacrifice, ambition, and an endless pursuit of perfection. For more than 70 years, Ferrari has existed as a symbol of speed, emotion, and identity. When people hear the name Ferrari, they do not imagine transportation. They imagine sound, passion, and a deep connection between man and machine. Ferrari is not designed to be practical. It is designed to be unforgettable. The story of Ferrari begins with Enzo Ferrari, a man whose life was defined by struggle long before it was defined by success. Born in 1898 in Modena, Italy, Enzo grew up in a modest family during a time of uncertainty. His early years were marked by hardship, but also by inspiration. As a young boy, Enzo witnessed a motor race that would change his life forever. In that moment, racing became more than a spectacle. It became purpose. It became meaning. The First World War devastated Europe and left deep scars on Enzo Ferrari's life. He lost his father and his brother, and with them, the foundation of his childhood disappeared. Survival replaced comfort. Enzo struggled to find work, moving through a world that offered little stability. Yet through hardship, his ambition only grew stronger. He eventually found his way into motorsport, joining Alfa Romeo as a driver and later as a manager. There, Enzo learned not only how cars were built, but how teams were structured, how pressure created performance, and how victory was earned through discipline rather than emotion. Still, Enzo Ferrari was never satisfied working under another name. He believed that greatness demanded independence. He wanted total control over vision, philosophy, and execution. For Enzo, racing was not a hobby or a business strategy. It was life itself. In 1947, in Maranello, Italy, Ferrari was founded. There was no intention to create a luxury brand. There was no desire for mass production. Ferrari was born for one reason alone, to race and to win. From the beginning, Ferrari was different. The earliest cars were built by hand in small workshops filled with oil, heat, and noise. These machines were loud, difficult, and unforgiving. They were not designed for comfort or ease. They demanded respect. Road cars existed only to fund racing programs. This philosophy became the foundation of Ferrari's identity. Racing was the priority. Everything else was secondary. As motorsport evolved, Ferrari rose to prominence. Formula One became the ultimate stage for competition, innovation, and risk. Ferrari was there from the very start, shaping the sport itself. Circuits such as Monza, Monaco, and Le Mans became arenas where Ferrari's legend grew. Victories were celebrated, but never considered enough. Enzo Ferrari believed that pressure was essential to greatness. His expectations were ruthless, and his leadership style was uncompromising. Ferrari's history is inseparable from sacrifice. Motorsport in the mid-20th century was extremely dangerous, and Ferrari lost many drivers in pursuit of victory. These tragedies shaped the soul of the company. Enzo Ferrari rarely spoke publicly about loss, but it influenced every decision he made. Ferrari became a brand defined not only by triumph, but by the cost of ambition. This balance between beauty and danger, success and loss, became part of Ferrari's DNA. By the 1950s and 1960s, Ferrari had established itself as a global icon. The prancing horse logo was instantly recognizable, symbolizing power, prestige, and performance. Ferrari cars were rare, expensive, and emotionally intense. They were not made for everyone. The Ferrari 250 GTO emerged as one of the greatest automobiles ever created, combining speed, balance, and design in perfect harmony. Decades later, it would become the most valuable car in history, a testament to Ferrari's timeless appeal. Ferrari refused to follow the automotive industry's path toward mass production. Enzo Ferrari believed scarcity created desire. Exclusivity created meaning. Owning a Ferrari was not about wealth alone. It was about character, respect, and understanding what Ferrari represented. This philosophy transformed Ferrari from a manufacturer into a myth. As time passed, Ferrari continued to define eras. The 1970s and 1980s brought new challenges, including stronger competition and changing regulations. Ferrari responded with bold designs and uncompromising machines. The Testarossa became a symbol of power and excess. The F40, created to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary, represented pure performance. Loud, aggressive, and stripped of comfort, it was the last Ferrari personally approved by Enzo Ferrari. It embodied everything he believed in: speed, simplicity, and raw emotion. In 1988, Enzo Ferrari passed away. The world questioned whether Ferrari could survive without its founder. Many believed the soul of the company would disappear. Instead, Ferrari evolved. The principles Enzo established remained deeply embedded within the brand. Racing continued to define Ferrari's identity. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Ferrari entered one of the most dominant periods in Formula One history. With Michael Schumacher, Ferrari combined talent, discipline, and engineering precision to create an era of unprecedented success. Championships followed one after another. Records were broken. Ferrari once again became the benchmark against which all others were measured. However, dominance is never permanent. As the world entered the 21st century, Ferrari faced new challenges. Environmental concerns, technological advancement, and strict regulations forced change. The industry began to move toward efficiency and sustainability. Many feared Ferrari would lose its emotional edge, but Ferrari adapted without compromise. Hybrid technology was introduced not as a replacement for passion, but as an evolution of it. LaFerrari proved that innovation and emotion could coexist. Today, Ferrari exists at the intersection of tradition and the future. Advanced wind tunnels, simulators, and digital systems shape every model. Artificial intelligence and data analysis guide development. Yet the philosophy remains unchanged. Ferrari still builds cars that demand respect, cars that speak to emotion rather than logic. Ferrari is no longer only Italian. It is global. The Tifosi, Ferrari's loyal supporters, exist in every corner of the world. Ferrari is not simply purchased. It is earned. Production remains limited. Customers wait years. Every Ferrari remains a statement, not a product. As a Ferrari drives away into the distance, its engine sound fading into silence, one truth remains. Ferrari is not about speed alone. It is about ambition turned into motion, passion shaped into metal, and a refusal to compromise. Ferrari is not just history. It is a living legacy that continues to race forward, driven by the same obsession that began in a small workshop in Maranello so many years ago.